Today we are going to talk about the easiest orchid to grow. I lied. Maybe. We're going to talk about the Dendrobium. Let's do this. It's going to be a blast. So there are two main kinds of Dendrobium. There's this kind, the soft cane. They're called the soft cane, I guess, because their canes are soft. That would make sense. We're not talking about these today. We're talking about hard cane Dendrobium. These are grown completely differently. Maybe we can do a different video on this, but we're not doing this. But man, is this gorgeous. And I did not grow this. I just bought it at Palmer Orchids. So don't give me too much credit. I find these a little bit hard to grow. It's probably just me. I don't know. Okay, here it is. The hard cane Dendrobium. The canes are harder. You can't bend them. They have these. This is called a phalaenopsis Dendrobium. Phalaenopsis kind. As you can see, it kind of looks like a phalaenopsis. They grow like weeds. I mean, seriously, it's unbelievable how these things grow. I mean, they'll double, triple in the size in 2 or 3 years. It's incredible. I think they're the fastest growing orchids I have, and they flower several times a year. I love them. They might be my favorite. They are beautiful. They have lots of flowers, and I don't know. So, I am going to give away the conclusion before the rest of this video, which might be a bad idea because you might just turn it off and be like, hey, Dave, you just gave me the big grand finale. Why should I watch anything else? Well, I'm going to give you lots of tips going forward. Okay, this is the grand finale. These things want light and heat and humidity. Light and heat, period. If you give them, like, there was one summer when it was especially hot. It was ridiculous. And these things, they grew so much. I'm like, what's happening? What is happening? I mean, I couldn't figure it out. And then I talked to a couple buddies and they're like, it's hot. These things love, love, love heat. I think more so than any other orchid. Heat, 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 and a lot of light. That was the grand finale. Okay, so there's two main kinds of hard cane Dendrobium. There's the phalaenopsis kind, which I just showed you, and then there's the antler kind. I don't know if you can see that, but the flower is in the shape of an antler. Now, at the nurseries that I go to, the people that own the nurseries are like, we don't grow that many of these things because nobody buys them. They're not nearly as flashy as the phalaenopsis type. I'm coming back. Here I am. So, I don't know if you can see, it's shaped like an antler. It really is. So, those are the two kinds. The antler kinds grow, they are huge. They grow like three times as big as the phalaenopsis kind. Let's see if you can get the full perspective here. Look at this thing. Look at it. Look at this thing. It's probably 4 or 5 feet tall. It's the biggest orchid I've ever dealt with. Really, it's a problem because it's so top heavy. These things are constantly falling over on me, which is a real pain. Really, that's one of my biggest problems with these things because they grow so big so fast. It's hard to keep them upright. So once my new greenhouse is finished, I think I'm going to tie them to like posts and stuff so they're not constantly falling over. And don't worry, I'll give you a lanai update. Maybe that will be my grand finale. Okay, next growing tip is pot size. So, I don't know. Okay, so that's the pot. That is the plant. So you'd say, holy moly, Dave, that huge plant is jammed into one little pot. And the answer is yes, because they like to be very, very tight in these pots. I've heard that many times. Honestly, I don't even know if it's true. I've never tried it to do it in not tight pots, but that's what everyone's always told me. I think it's true. So let's go with that. If you have one of these, do not overpot it. Like, If I took this and put it into a big pot, this would suffer. Well, I have this cool example and I can't find it, but I do have one of these Dendrobium mounted like on a piece of wood. So it's the opposite of what I just told you. And it seems to do just fine. It's growing and it's blooming. So that's what I mean. Orchids are interesting. One thing I've found recently is just about every orchid is happier either, in a basket or whatever, mounted in the air. Must be floating around. I had this one Oncidium, same Oncidium. One was in a clay pot on a table. One was in like a plastic slatted, like the black ones, waving in the breeze. The one waving in the breeze, I swear, is twice as big. That's how much they love being in the air. That's, nature. They want oxygen. Air is always flowing around. So I don't know. I guess tight pots, maybe. Now remember too, I always say this. I am in Sarasota, Florida, which is subtropical, right? It's an hour south of Tampa. So you have to take everything I say and then translate it into your climate. So all these tips, they don't necessarily apply to you. Now, everything so far I think applies to you. It might be hard to get the heat and light that these Dendrobiums want if you're further north, and they're going to not be happy and they're not going to be easy to grow, and it's going to make my advice sound like it's wrong, but that's how it works for me here. I find that these bloom in the summer most of the time, like really bloom. So this isn't the best time to do this video, but whatever. This is what, almost March 31st? Yeah. So this is a very important tip. I forgot about this. Flowers and spikes come off of old canes. So what I mean by that is, so you see how these look dead, but then you see these like old spikes. So these were flower spikes. They had like a million flowers on them. So flowers bloom from dead looking spikes. So never, ever, ever, ever cut these things off. Literally, I don't care what it looks like. I don't care if it's like rotting. I do not take these things off. I just let nature do its thing. Look at these things, how they grow. Wait, can you see that? There's 3 little buggers there. 3 of them. It's unreal. It's like a weed. To follow up on the point I just made, Dendrobium, they are semi-deciduous. They're designed to lose leaves. So if they start losing leaves, don't freak out and don't cut them off, because that's how they're designed to live. In fact, you don't want them to all be green the whole time, because then you're not going to get as many flower spikes. All right, I'm going to show off a little. This one's on its way out. How cool is that? Oh, this is one of those soft cane Dendrobium. Huh, this is really blooming. This is one I actually rebloomed. We'll do this one a different day. They're pretty low maintenance. You don't have to do sort of dendro. These are all low maintenance. Whoa, look at this. I'm kind of getting into these Tolumia. Ooh, look how many colors and little flowers. These flowers last forever. Honestly, I had a million flowers recently. Ooh. And we're just kind of we're at a crossroads. I have lots of other ones to show you, but I don't want to show off too much. Okay, I decided to show off more. Look at how healthy this plant is. Look at the roots, how they're wrapping around the pot. That's exactly what you want. And all of these buds, we already have some flowers. That is oh, and by the way, recently, and you should watch out for this too, March, April, thrips are nasty. They are everywhere. I was looking at a little white flower the other day, and I was horrified at what I saw. Oh, okay. So inside that beautiful flower, there's these little black bugs crawling around, teeny tiny. I probably couldn't have seen them if they were not on a white flower. So those are thrips, and they are the bane of my existence. They chew up flowers, they destroy buds. They're absolutely, without a doubt, the biggest issue with any sort of orchid grower, at least in my area. So I've sprayed twice so far with a chemical called spinosad, Spinosad, I think. Spinosad. I think that's what it's called. Wait, hold on. Okay, it comes in something that looks like this. Captain Jack's dead bug. Why I like this spinosad stuff is it's much less toxic than most things. A lot of people use acephate, and it's fine. It's powerful. I don't know. I don't need like hardcore chemicals to kill some of these thrips. But that's what I do. I'm going to do 3 weeks in a row each week, because these things are almost impossible to get rid of, and they keep coming back. You will never ever stop them. You just have to stay on top of them. Don't let them explode their population. Here is the corridor of orchids. The corridor. I have no room. There's actually 2 corridors. There's another corridor right here. I'm not gonna, but look, that's pretty cool. It really is pretty. So they're too close to each other. They're a little prone to disease, but I have no room. I need more room, but this is the corridor of orchids. All right, this has taken forever, but we're about a month away from the completion of the lanai extension. Now that's going to be like a covered area, so it's going to have a big roof on it. That's just the back wall. And then this is where the magic's going to happen. It's where the magic's going to happen. It's going to be a pool cage. Oh, it's going to be so awesome. And I can get all of this stuff. My wife is really ready for this to be finished, because this is pretty. Oh, look at this. Can you see that guy? It's the first time I saw that flower. That's the great thing about orchids, right? Like you go outside, you're just doing your thing, you know, like watering your orchids, and bam! There's this cool, massive orchid out of nowhere. That's you orchid addicts, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I hope you learned a lot about Dendrobiums and my life update. So until next time, I'm going to make more videos. Be blessed.